Welcome to Yerba Talks.
Welcome to another Aftershow. I am Max, this is Kat, and we have Isa. Hello.
Howdy ho.
I can't hear you, but I
Right.
am hearing myself.
I was
Give me
muted.
1 second. Yes, there we go.
Hello,
Hello.
neighbor Joe. How y'all doing?
I am doing fantastic. T-shirts. No more. The weather is getting better. I love it. We had a debate today between Jazmen Jafar and Taylor about feminism. Very nice for a change to see two women talking about feminism. That is refreshing. But we'll see how the debate actually went. Let's get the people the link. Yes, we are starting actually early because the debate is over. So we're not going to wait around. Right? So, Isa, give us some thoughts while I put on the link.
So there were some issues. Just to talk about the openings, we did not see presentations on either side, which is not good. I think the biggest problem for me in the debate is I didn't know what feminism was. It was not clearly defined. It just sounded like, oh, women are going to work. Can women be an adult content? I didn't really know what feminism was, so this is very amorphous. Like neither participant really defined what it was. So I think that's one thing that we need to learn in Pimp My Debate. We got to agree on terms. What does this word mean? And then we can move forward from there. Like marital assault, marriage. What does marriage have to do with feminism? I don't know because I don't know what feminism is, according to the debater. So, yeah, I think to be very frank with you, I think it was a bit weak overall on both sides.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Fortunately, it ended fast. So, for that, that's. We have Vanguard Shield and Billy. Hello. But before
Hello? Can you hear me? 1, 2, 3.
yes, you're coming on perfectly. But before we get into
Awesome.
it, make sure to do the social thing is like, share, subscribe, send this to a friend, send it to your significant other, go to the corner, yes, the corner of your seat, and just subscribe to Share Mate Talks. And that way we can share the love for the channel. CK says, hey, bro, hello. I didn't watch the debate, but was watching Mike on the Trumpkin Punk show. Blacklight in jail on Pika. I wonder who that was. I haven't published that clip yet, but oh my, you made me choke. Hi, Liz. Hello. All right. Thoughts on Taylor's opening specifically? Let's start with you, Vanguard.
I think I missed the openings. I was there for the open discussion. So,
All right, no problem. Billy, how are you?
I'm doing good. How's everybody doing? Isla, Vanguard, chat. All
hello.
right. What's up? But yeah. Taylor's opening. I think pretty much she liked to talk about the nuclear family. How good she thinks that is, and feminism is bad, and porn is bad too.
Real bad.
And she said that she had some studies, but I didn't see any, and there was no presentation, and she didn't define feminism like he's already pointed out. Yeah.
When I don't like that style of just citing studies and studies and studies. Like you need to show me, otherwise you would just be telling stuff. So that plays a big role. But it's still, she was very focused on those stats, that make her case, but completely ignoring the rest. And that is a bit of a problem for her position. Uh, she could have done better and would have definitely benefited from a position. Who that said, my official position on this debate topic, I'm a dude. Therefore, I have no position other than women can make their own decisions provided they have the mental capacity to do so. Well, the mental capacity thing applies for everyone. There are people that are not allowed to drive. Growing time is trying to connect, but is not being able. Anything else specifically to Taylor you want to say? I hear typing.
Oh, are you talking about
Yeah.
you talking me?
Yes.
Okay, sorry, I wasn't sure. Um, it was kind of disorganized. Yeah, definitely. It's just like what I felt was kind of the American utopia, like the thing you see in Pleasant
Uh,
Hill from the 1950s. That's
okay.
that's her kind of ideal. I don't know. I mean, I think people don't know history well, and the grass is greener on the other side. So they create these utopias. They think the nuclear family, whatever that means, is somehow ideal. What about grandparents? Do they just get thrown in, you know, old folks' homes and enhanced living centers? Like, see, as a social worker, as a person who cares about these things, like, and I'm also from Eastern culture too. She's from of European ancestry, so it's a little bit different. In Asian culture, our families kind of all live together, and I'd say Hispanic families do the same thing. Like
Oh my God! Yes, it's a nightmare.
it can totally be that way, but it's a different structure. It's a different structure. But the ideal is that what, we don't need parents, grandparents, cousins, all these people. They can't live in the house. It's just mom, dad, and kids, and that's it. And I'm like, that may work for some people, but that doesn't work for everyone. And I mean, it's just, I think Taylor's position is sort of like this absolutist narrative that everyone needs to live a certain way and live in her kind of utopia. And I'm like,
Yeah.
and that just doesn't work. And I hate to say this, but she's coming from probably a myopic position of coming from European ancestry. That's the culture she comes from, right? She doesn't
Yeah.
she doesn't know about other cultures. She's not aware of these things. And I see that a lot. I see a lot of people, particularly people of European ancestry, who have gone through enlightenment and have the so-called enlightenment and have had these life experiences and think that their life experiences are everyone else's life experiences. They don't even know about other, and when I mean European, I mean like Western European, like folks from England, Germany, places like Greece and Italy. It's a very different kind of experience. Spain, it's a different place, but like these Western European folks and the progeny of this, it's like they have this kind of assumption of what the world is because they don't know any world except their own echo chamber. And I don't think
The
that
critical flaw I see with Taylor's argument is that she wants to force it on everyone. But and it usually happens that if you have it the other way, number one, she's able to do what she's doing because of the success of the feminists historically, right? And if you take the position that just Jazmen takes, if Taylor wants to be a stay-at-home mom and not work and not go to uh, university and have kids, then she's able to do that. So it accommodates everything else. I don't understand why they don't like that, right? Um, Jasmine's opening. Who wants to start? Do you want to start, Isa? She was not ready.
Yeah, I will start. I am going to stick with what I said before. She didn't have a presentation. She basically just told us about the kind of ideals of, women being able to work. And she didn't define feminism, which is the problem. I did like. I'll give a thing. It's a progressive part of the debate. I like the window that the light turned to darkness. I thought that was a really cool effect. You know what I mean? You don't usually see that. So you see time actually going from day to night. I like that. That was cool. But I was not really impressed. I didn't. I was not persuaded on what feminism was. I wasn't persuaded on how feminism is good. I don't think she really made the case. And I think, again, and I agree with Max, I don't care about data and statistics unless it links to something compelling. I just,
Right?
yeah, I just don't feel this was not Jazmen's strong outing. I think she does better in other places, but I think in this situation, I don't, I think she does really well later on in like the Crossfire. That's where I think she shines. But really, in the beginning, I didn't see it. It was
Yeah.
not compelling for me.
All right. Thank you so much. Vanguard?
Well, I missed the openings, but
Sorry.
from
I
no,
forgot.
okay, I'll
Go
mute
ahead.
again. Have fun.
You got
I'm
it.
still here listening.
Billy?
Okay, yeah, I was okay, so no, yeah, I agree with Lisa about the no presentation didn't look good. Women working is good. That was the main point I got from it, and she couldn't define feminism either, and I guess it's not that easy to define it, but maybe other people will disagree because it's some science stuff, so I don't know, but I've never heard any
At
serious.
least frame how you are going to define and what you value of
I've
feminism.
never heard of any scientist that studies feminism that has actually done anything in the scientific community. So that's my argument.
No, well, wait. Gender studies are the people that
Donna
study
or something, Donna Haraway or something I've never heard about until I looked it up.
I'm prepared. This is what I have to say. Really, just I don't know how it's been scheduled for a little bit. So Jasmine, I'm prepared to try and be kind, but yeah, she blew the opening really bad. Did better in the open discussion though. So I don't think there's much else to say about that, really, because she needs to flesh out more the point that it's the economic growth, the ability for women to own property, and there's so many benefits that feminism has conquered, especially in the US and the rest of the the rest of the civilized world. Right? But I don't know. She seemed off at the beginning. Changed a bit in the open discussion. Isa, do you want to get us started on that?
Yeah, sure. So in the open discussion, basically what was going on was Taylor was just kind of going at this point that, OnlyFans is bad and, prostitution is bad. Oh, there's so many bad things.
So bad.
Women need to have children. They need to be moms. And that's why it's anti-feminism, because having children is anti-feminism. I don't know how it's anti-feminism, but it's claimed that it's anti-feminism, but having children is, such a horrible thing, and just the idea of it. And, you need to get married at 18. It's a really good idea. You're just finishing high school, going into college, and you got a lot of money. So, getting married is just a smart, super great idea to do. I mean, it's a stellar idea. I think Jazmen really handled this well. I mean, what she said makes plenty of sense. Getting married after 26, having education, whatever that looks like, you know what I mean? Could be associate's degree or whatever. You have some
right, but yeah, something,
some kind of training where you can have a profession. It doesn't necessarily have to be through a college degree route. That's I would challenge her on that.
But yeah, some type of
Training,
a skill, some training, whatever.
so
Yeah,
you can get a job. You know,
it's
you need to get
it's
some.
a wide gamut of stuff.
You need a skill set so you can have a job. Like that's
Yeah.
what she's saying, pretty much. That's what she means to say. But she's gone through the traditional college route. She comes from like highly educated parents, so she's not really thinking about other routes that might be there. That's actually my focus. I'm interested in those things like trade school route and other types of routes that folks can take, alternative career paths. But she's saying you need a stabilized career path. You need to be, mature, and even on a first marriage. So being like divorced over and over again, not a really good idea. You're gonna have a lot of baggage from that. So that's kind of what she was saying. That could be debatable, honestly speaking. Maybe just things didn't work out in certain times, and maybe something else works out. It's complex, but I get her point. She had a tri-point situation. I think it's pretty effective, where it's like you need some ways of getting married. I would say I would also add having some kind of stability, like Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You want to have like a shelter. You want to have some access to those kind of resources. Both partners having that. You don't want to be stuck out on the street. That's going to be hard to having a good marriage. But it might work. There are people that make that work, but it's much harder. It's a much harder
When
situation.
women are married and educated, that balances out, because you don't get that dependency. If you don't have a skill and you're trapped in a marriage, that is not a good situation. But it never gets mentioned, really. CK gifted 10 Yerba Mate Talks membership, and they went to Emmanuel Dascali, Skip There, Idiot, Goran Anderson, Rusted Feathers, A.T. Doley, Dave McKeegan, yes, that one, Toe Fungus, Bob with 1-0. So you gonna thank CK for that. Love you, bro. Sorry, Isa, go on.
Yeah, no problem. I think, interestingly enough, when you have two women, the ideas of men, like where do men fit in this? It's kind of strange. Where do men fit in this concept?
Yeah,
I think that's an important thing, because I do think that's some limitation with feminism, is that feminism looks to seeking equity for women, which I think is important. But it's also important to look about how that engages with men. Like I think about I like watching romantic dramas and comedies and stuff like that. And sometimes when you have a female-led cast, it's really interesting how men are depicted. It's a very fascinating way that whoever writes this views men. Sometimes they're window dressing. There's sometimes like, just they could be a disposable love interest. It's an interesting thing. So I think having a holistic approach of looking at men and women is a healthier one. I understand the goal of feminism, where it's like, there's been a lot of inequity for women. I think it's important that women gain equity. Also, you need to have balance too. It's important to look at issues that men have as well in this type of department, but that's not the debate here. It's about feminism. But it was interesting because I really didn't know what feminism was according to the whole thing. There was no real definition of that. But it's interesting that the anti-feminists didn't really explore men's situation in this, because like if I was the anti-feminist and let's say I'm the meninist, I'm going to take a meninist approach, I'd be like, well, I hear you talking about women and all of this stuff. Where do men fit in all of this situation? How do men engage with this type of situation? I think Taylor could have taken advantage of that, and she didn't. She basically was just saying, well, the values of what women need to be is that they need to, fit her kind of traditional values of what a woman is from her culture and her heritage. It's not women from all kind of cultures and heritages. But I do feel that this is my favorite part of the debate in the open discussion, was basically when Taylor just kind of started ad homing Jazmen. She just started saying like nasty things. She was like, you're bad, you're this. And then Jazmen took out the lawyer cloak and the gavel, and she went hard. She was like, oh, okay, I take your position. How about if I throw it back on you? And she took the same position Taylor did and just reversed it on Taylor, and Taylor was speechless. I think that really was destructive to Taylor. Taylor thought she could just throw ad homs at Jazmen and get away with it. And Jazmen took every single one of those statements, threw them back at her, and Taylor had nothing to say. You know, Taylor's like, I am a student of psychology. I'm like, honey bun, you're fighting a lawyer here. This is a person who has like a graduate degree. Yes, I know you have like a bachelor's in psychology. This chick has like a Juris Doctorate, okay, and she's like trained in debating. So like you're out of your depth if you think you're just going to quote some psychology stuff and think that that's going to win. And the weirdest part was at the end, poor Taylor was talking about the baby that she has, and it seems like she has like a cognitive dissonance and some fragmentation going on where she has tattoos, she has a child. So the values of what she thinks is her utopia and ideal, she doesn't even live in her own life. And I feel
Right?
sadness for that. But that's something I felt at the very end. I was like, oh boy, this poor
That was our friend Basil Problems
who was
that
really
was
into
asking her. Yeah, he was poking her. He also says you could have done a better job praising MDD. You're never going to be invited to the Bacon 7 at this rate. Love that.
there's
I
our
love that
admin.
you hate MDD so much, and I love that you also give them money. That I love all of this.
What do you think about our admin? We have our admin here. Basil the admin.
Yes.
Basil the mod. Basil the mod, yes.
Keep it up. Don't stop, please. It's funny as hell. Vanguard, what did you think about the open discussion?
Basically, it was Taylor just trying to say feminism is this, and it's all in a box, and everything that's in this box is bad. And that was basically all she tried to get across. And the other person, Jess, was it? I think
Jazmen.
Jazmen. There we go. Okay, I'm bad with names.
No worries.
Yeah, Jazmen basically said it's all about what's good for each individual at each time, but she kept missing out on things will change in your life over time. So at 18, yeah, you shouldn't get married, but you should get an education, you should get yourself stable, and then look at getting married and going in that route. So it was just they weren't really talking to each other. It was kind of a nobody knew what the other person wanted to really get across, and they couldn't hear each other.
Yeah, they couldn't really engage because it was all about Taylor was stuck on the studies about the things that she wanted to talk about, and Jasmine was focusing on the other stuff. So a little bit of miscommunication there. That's why
Mm-hmm.
it ended
And
so
that's why it's
abruptly.
yeah, it's good defining your terms. What's feminism? Why are we talking about feminism today? And what has that led to in our current society over the last 100 years of modern Western feminism?
Exactly. Yep. But it goes when you start just throwing out studies in these social topics, you can always find something that confirms your view or maybe sort of is close. So I don't see the point of arguing like that. Billy, what did you think about the open discussion?
Well, what studies and sources did they actually cite? Because I didn't hear
We
any.
didn't see
actually.
anything, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah, so that was my main criticism, is that both sides said they had the studies, had the data, never presented it. Like what are they? They don't know how to share their screen. I mean, it's not really that hard to figure out. Like I mean, even it, like yeah, that's all it takes. Just share the screen. That's it. Like it's not that hard. And also about the OnlyFans, you don't need to show your face to make money on OnlyFans so nobody
That
knows
is
who you are and
true.
you can remain anonymous. Because not too many
That
guys
is
really care about the face that much.
I don't know, man. If you go into it, it always becomes a thing, and not everyone likes to do porn. That is, they always think
Yeah.
of it in more, or in more of a bigger thing that it is, and we always say, than Jasmine said it, the benefit compared to the porn industry is immense. So
Yeah.
why
Or
they
some
go against the less bad thing, I will never understand.
OnlyFans women too don't even have to get fully naked and they still can make money. So yeah, it's like if they're just in their bra and panties, like it's still like way they can make money.
There are. I remember there used to be a grandma that was really big for a while. She taught knitting on OnlyFans,
Yeah,
and
that's true too.
the Malish, she has an OnlyFans where she teaches Islam. So there's the other one that also debates Diddley. That one does ASMR on OnlyFans.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, I don't. Why is it that a woman choosing to do porn is so offensive to her? I don't. I think it's some kind of sexual repression or something like that. Because
You know what I think?
otherwise, it doesn't make sense.
Oh, it makes a lot of sense to me. I think it's regret. I think there's extreme regret. It seems like she lived a certain kind of life and she regrets the life that she lived. So there's some kind of internal trauma. That's why she has tattoos. That's why she has a kid. She has these things that do not represent the values that she's espousing. So,
Yeah, it is a little bit weird. Besa was asking her about the tattoos and asked about the what was it, the kids, if she had 2.1 kids. Yes.
do you know about the stories about people like these women who are anti-abortion and they had like 5 abortions?
Yes.
They have this kind of regret and grief and all of that, and then there's like, and then they kind of project their pain. I understand it, but it's like, it's tragic. It's a very tragic reality.
Yeah. It's the same happens in kind of the same fashion with people who are very homophobic outwardly, and then they get caught on like going to the gay clubs or soliciting with gay prostitutes and so on. That happens every once in a while. There's one in the paper here.
Well, and also none of them mentioned too that women can work from home and still make money that way without doing OnlyFans. Like, I mean, come on now. Like, they could do coding, they could do all these other things at home, and still be able to do more stuff at home because they're already at home.
Because they have a wider range of things to do because of feminism, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I think that Taylor's position is a losing argument. That's I don't understand how she can think that she's right on that. 1 second, because I have another one. Hey, I missed the debate, but I do have a genuine question. Did they discuss feminism and its effects on children? Is that even a thing? Just something like I'd hear tomorrow. They talked a little bit about how, but both just threw a stat that they cared about where it agrees with their side. So it was kind of like a stalemate, but they did talk about the effects on the outcomes of children when they live in Taylor was comparing when they live in married or they're separated, and Jazmen had a little bit more depth to the data, but it ended in nothing. But good question. All of these things are very hard to measure, and it's usually multi-tiered when people are having less kids for a variety of reasons, not just one. That's also another shortcoming of Taylor's argument, right?
Yeah, because she tried to say that if you don't have kids, then you're not a real woman. Pretty much, she was trying to claim that.
Right?
Yeah. So,
Well, it's
so
your
then guys have to have
society's-
kids too. Then I guess, like, to be fair, she would have to say that guys have to have kids too, because that would just be stupid if she only thought that women have to have. Sorry to cut you off, Vanguard. You can go now.
Oh no, it's fine. Basically, it's the society's job to increase the population at all costs. Basically,
Yes. But I don't know where that comes from, because let the be fruitful and multiply thing, it's weak for that. And it's very unlikely everyone would have to decide to stop having kids.
Well,
So I don't understand why they care so much about the population
as
when we can't really take care of the people that are already here.
as your resident theologian, your interfaith theologian, the Torah and the New Testament have two completely different goals for for
on
for children.
family.
Family completely. So the Hebrew scriptures are first of all talking to Israelites. It's very weird when I hear these people call themselves Christians and they're like, "I'm associated to this text." I'm like, it's a text about it's clearly a Jewish text for Jewish people. There's this
Uh-huh.
thing, there's this clothing brand called FUBU, for us by us, or like for who the community. Uh,
Right?
the Tanakh is a text about Jewish people for Jewish people. It's very clear. All the laws in Deuteronomy or Devarim and Vayikra or Leviticus, it's clearly talking to Jewish people and the Jewish community. It's not
Yeah.
talking to non-Jews. Non-Jews are not a part of what this text is talking to. So it's really weird when I hear people who are not Jewish talking about this ancient text and somehow relating to it. Like if the Jewish people saw you from these texts, or the Hebrews, Israelites, whatever term you want to use, they'd be like, "Who the heck are you? You're not a part of this community. What are you talking about?" You know what I mean? Like it's very that's the way that I see the Torah. Now we look at the New Testament. It's about mystic Jews, so it's about, like, I guess you call them Sufi Jews, like spiritual Jews, and they're very much stoicists. These are people who have um, remove themselves from worldly pleasures. Every single hero and protagonist is a stoicist, pretty much. None of them are interested in marriage. They're not interested in families. The thing of where they get families is what they call an expiation. It allows for people to have families, but it does not promote families. So it's very bizarre when I keep hearing people say the New Testament is this text of family values. No, it is not. It is a pro celibacy text. It is a pro stoic text. It's fitting the Hellenistic realm of mystic Hellenistic Stoic Jews. So it's bizarre when I hear people say this
Yes.
text promotes. No, it's your culture. Your culture is the situation. So
Mm-hmm.
so
Basil asked, is that the same as the Stoics? Yeah, they were
like versus the
Stoic.
Epicureans. Like the Epicureans were like hedonists that were really into just enjoying pleasure. The Stoicists were very self-facing and were very much not into that. So like you look at characters like Socrates. You see that's a kind of a Stoic character that you see in Greek narratives. So
And then you have the flagellants that were ones that would whip themselves because they
yeah,
needed
you have
they
that too.
needed to be they needed to be punished.
Self-effacing. It's
Yes.
about self-effacing. Like for example, when Jesus, the big Christ, says, "When you have a cloak, and someone desires it, you give it away." You know what I mean? This is the spiritual mystical thing. Yeah, I would agree with you, Basil Problem. Yes, Paul is a Stoic too. All of them are. Every single one. Peter, Paul, Bartholomew, all of these people are Stoics. These are self-effacing people. These are not family men. These are not people who care about children. So I'm like, why are you quoting a text that doesn't even defend your position? This text doesn't care about family. And it's so weird when I hear Christians of European ancestry coming in and they're like, "We believe in family values. Our text says it." I'm like, no, it doesn't. You're not from this culture. You're trying to project on your culture onto a culture that's not even your culture. And it's not even your history. It's not your culture. And what you're doing is you're bastardizing it. So it's I don't know, it's dishonest, it's disingenuous, and it's just not true. If you think that, nuclear family is good, then that's your cultural value. Don't ascribe it to the New Testament. And don't try to bring the Hebrew scriptures up because they don't care about family values either. They care about maybe Jewish Hebrew family, not your family, maybe Israelite families. It's about Israelite families and polygamy, and you can have other alternative, you can have concubinage. If you care about that, that's what the Hebrew scriptures have. It's not it's not nuclear. The Hebrew scriptures don't defend your nuclear family and in your culture, and the New Testament does not promote your family values at all. So you don't win. You win on neither side. So, yeah.
Yeah, I still can't get over the fact that Taylor, if you're just complaining about feminism because feminism granted you the ability to complain. That, like, your argument just falls apart from the start. And then the idea that within the feminist movement, even or the implementation of the ideals of feminism, if Taylor wants to be a stay-at-home mom, she can, and no one will tell her anything bad about that. Like, it's her choice, but she doesn't care one bit about the fact that she has the freedom to choose what she wants, and some other people have the freedom to choose what they want. It's about the imposition. I do understand why men advocate for that. It is very bizarre to me, especially with the way Latina women are, that happens. I've never actually seen, a woman talk like this in person. Because try to tell a Latino woman she belongs in the kitchen. I dare you.
No.
I mean, my mom will claw your face off. And, depending on where, Southeast Asian women, their value, their kind of stance in society also changes a lot. And Latin women also. It's such a weird thing, the position Taylor holds, for me. I don't understand it. Catherine says, my whole family degraded me for being a stay-at-home and put a lot of pressure on me too to work as well, and I was a single parent. How does that work?
That is weird.
That kind of broke me, because if you're single, how can you stay at home? Because you don't get no money,
I
right?
mean, like in Canada, you get a certain amount every month for each kid you have under a certain age, but that only lasts for so many years. That's not enough to live on. So even that doesn't make a lot of sense unless you've got like 12 kids.
Yeah, and you also don't spend that much money on stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, you'd
Yeah.
essentially be perpetually broke just paying rent, your basic
No,
bills,
but
and food.
she's from the UK. Do you get a livable wage from, like, the government? Did you get to pay the alimony? That is such a strange situation. Like, here, single moms have to work or, starve. But this is the third world, so I'm genuinely curious as to how you can have that.
I think you get benefits. Like I think that I'm sure that there are benefits, and probably have family supports too. There's probably a lot of different things that you're given, and it is very hard. Like I don't know how you could go to work. Like if you have the child, it'd be really really difficult. Like you would need to put the child with other family members. You probably can't afford childcare, so it's a lot of issues. Yeah, I think the answer was there, just like I said. Yeah,
Yeah, benefits.
you can't really do much about that.
God save the queen. No, that's good.
I mean, I feel really
But
bad for her
depends on where in the world, because
that
that
dude didn't
doesn't
step
happen.
up. I don't know, like if I had a kid, I really would want to step up. Like I don't know, like I'm a very like responsibility oriented person. Like that's kind of my value system. Like
Uh-huh.
if let's say it was an accident and somehow a woman got impregnated by by my efforts, or
No.
let's say that this happened, right? I would never
Uh-huh.
be like, I'm just gonna run away because I don't want to take responsibility. I'm like, even if it's a struggle for me, I'm like, I decided to do this thing. The child came from this. I need to take care of the child. Like that's just immediately like I think like a 50s model too. Like if those people did have a relationship and a child came, they would marry the person and they would take care of the child. I'm just like,
Can we explore this? What if
oh,
you are the second in a line of three different guys that had sex with this woman?
Man, I'm one stupid dude. So that's one thing. I mean,
Yes.
I'm one dumb guy.
Well, no judgment though. She's
Yeah,
hot,
I
so
would say
it's
I
okay.
would say that probably what's going to happen is there's going to be a DNA test. I'm sure that's
Ah,
what's going to
that's
occur. I don't know
good.
if I would say that. Like, I'm like, if it was confirmed that it was me that did it, even without a DNA test, I'd be like, okay, that's fine. I mean, like, I'm an idiot that I was involved with this person to begin with, but
Yeah.
I think I have a higher valuation of myself than that.
It gets complicated in
But I
some
would
of
be
those cases.
responsible. I would be responsible if we found out that it's me. You know, even if not, like if the person was on hard times, I'd be like, I don't know if I'm going to be the dad, but if it's true that I'm not the dad, but I'd be like, I have compassion, so I'd probably give some help here and there.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing at Basil that is teasing Shifty. Basil, yes, Shifty is a Glover now. Come on, don't. How long will it take? Leave him alone, dude. It's a globe. He's not going back to the flat Earth. He's been thoroughly convinced. Just chill.
Welcome back to reality.
Yes.
Yep.
Don't. He's my. Don't mess with my friends, Basil. The biggest parts of feminism, I think, like where does feminism go on from here? Taylor asked, and I don't know, just ensuring that we don't step backwards in the rights that feminism has conquered is the ultimate goal for feminism, right? I'm sure some stuff will pop up in the future, but the core thing, the bring the role of women to a somewhat equitable level with obviously there's always stuff to improve, right? But they're way better than they were before. And now the goal becomes to just stay there and not lose rights. Well, what do you guys think? Because it didn't get answered. It didn't get answered in the debate. Taylor asked, and the question wasn't really like actually answered at all.
Wait, what's the question again? Sorry,
What is the role of feminism like today, now, or in the near future? And my idea is to keep as a safeguard for the rights already conquered.
Yeah, that seems fairly, or yeah, that makes more sense than I'm not really sure about that, but yeah.
Vanguard, any thoughts on that?
Well, where feminism goes from here is basically spread it around the world. Take what North America and Europe has and try and get to the places that aren't doing as well. Help the locations that have slid backwards, like Afghanistan, because
Yeah.
they've taken a big step back with their new government. Try and get feminism back there and other places that could use the similar treatment of women that we have in Western society.
All right, that's an interesting thought. Thank you so much. Isa, what do you think?
I think we need to define what feminism is. So I think that's an important.
Yeah, I know. Now I'm asking the question, like the actual question. Suppose
But
we define it, and okay.
So the upliftment of women, I guess. I think each culture has different kinds of things that are needed. I don't think there's a cure-all. I think when I think about America, we have this weird religion in the United States that we need to give everyone democracy for some reason when we don't even really have democracy ourselves. And it's just this idea, can we export feminism to everyone? I don't know. I think cultures have different ways that they engage and deal with certain things. Do I think that all humans should have rights? Yeah, I definitely think so. And I also understand how cultures have their own conditional values and their own systems. And, we don't know the consequences of all of these situations. And we don't know what's going to actually happen in these certain spaces. And we have to be really careful about politics in general because it's a pendulum. When it swings one direction, it's going to swing the other direction. So, it's tough. It's a very, very tough situation. But would I like folks like Malala Yousafzai to be able to like go learn at school? I mean, sure. I mean, if you want to call that feminism, fine. But I mean, like for me, I would like people to have education, whether they're male, female, or whatever gender they identify as. But you know, that's kind of where I stand.
All right, I have one more question, but before that, Basil says for $5, this one is for Isa, not for you. You got it.
Oh wow,
Isa, how do
appreciate it.
how do we do the interaction between trying to promote, so in a soft way, right? Nothing hard, but how does the interaction of promoting feminism with some of the more fundamentalist places, like say fundamental Islam, fundamental whatever,
Yeah,
the Amish, so on?
Judaism, yeah, you have it all across the board. Buddhism, because most of these societies are very patriarchal. But
Uh-huh.
I think what you can introduce is small things. Like you can say, well, I think ladies should be able to go to school and have education, have access to, you know, economic retentions. Having economic abilities. I think it can be considered a big ask, but I mean, we saw the impacts. Even the Taliban, like dads want their daughters to succeed. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, I think if you're a father, you want your child to succeed, whether they're a boy or a girl, or whatever gender they identify as. But you want your children to succeed overall, especially if you're a good parent. So I'm like, I don't think that that's a hard ask. Like we've seen that in Pakistan. It does work. It does work where education works. I mean, things like I don't know, like sexual liberation. I don't think you're gonna get that. It's not gonna happen. It's like
Well, but I don't mind so much about sexual liberation, but maybe that they are allowed to drive, to go to school, maybe own
I think you can get
property,
I
if
think you can
they
get all of those things. Because
did.
let's say, yeah, I think in all these religions, you have women who have property. You have women who have. You're going to have some woman archetype, like in Islam, you have Khadija. She owned land. She was like she had more economic standard, more economic presence than her husband did. The Prophet of Islam. So you have that. You have these situations already, and in Christian in Judah, like in Judaism, you have the prophetess Deborah. Like you have women like the Queen of Sheba. You have these very powerful women that exist and have resources and have even spiritual powers. So I'm like, they exist in these traditions. And a lot of the ancient traditions, like if you take Vedic, Dharmic religions, you have goddess religions, like South Asia.
Yeah.
Religions are big. So like you have, like Durga, Shanta Durga, you have these entities, Lakshmi, Saraswati, you have these beings that have power that are female. So I think you can promote these things, and you have a way of saying is a divine feminine that exists. But I think you can get those things, like basic stuff. I think
Yes, it's
sway.
chip away little by little.
Yeah.
Because then, yeah. But that's how you gain everything. It's one right at a time, and you conquer, and then you keep on campaigning for more, and so on.
Yeah, I mean, at
And
least if we get those basic values, I think those are important. Like women being able to go to school and, driving. I think that's even beneficial to their male partners if they're marrying a man. Like having a wife who can drive is useful. Like if I can't drive and I'm sick, having my partner being able to drive is pretty useful.
right,
I mean, there's valuation. If my lady companion can do these things when I'm not well, let's say I'm sick, I am going to be able to be supported. I want that. I want my woman to have these.
or an
valuation and power.
emergency. You're
Exactly.
driving, you crash, and you're incapacitated to drive.
I've got to give one comment. This is something I really agree with.
What? Which one?
I actually agree with this a lot.
Once Bitten, good movie. Okay.
It's like Jim Carrey's
Yeah.
one of his earliest movies. It's very Canadian. It's a very Canadian.
Yeah, I've seen that one. Yeah, it's a good one.
It's like a vampire movie. It's a cute vampire movie where it's like an inverse where the vampire is a woman and she's like a 40-year-old. She looks very good for her age. Like she looks like she could be in her 20s and 30s and she's like hitting 40s. You know what I mean? So maybe going close to 50. So she looks very good, but she's seducing Jim Carrey, and Jim Carrey has a girlfriend, and it's a cute kind of it's like a cute stupid B movie, but it's a fun watch, and it's got some good 80s music in it. You should watch it. You could probably watch it for free on YouTube. So it's like early 80s. It's cute.
I think it's free on that Tubi.com, but that's only in America and Canada, I think. But you can use VPN.
So anything else that springs to your mind about the debate? Because I don't. There wasn't really much meat in. They kind of argued for a little bit, and then it was over.
I think we've been streaming as long as they were.
Yeah, pretty much. So maybe we can do final thoughts, and we'll be on our way. If there's not much about the debate to say per se, we can do that. Billy, do you want to get us started?
Yeah, I think we pretty much covered everything. Like, quickly as it started, yeah, it was. And there's no super chats, like not that's back. It was pretty.
No. Most of the super chat was from Basil, who doesn't like the Christian nationalist program, and he will let them know that he doesn't like them by sending them money. The best thing about the debate were the Basil problem super chat. I agree. Today you did good. And I don't know the one that they didn't read. I'll have to go back and check it out. Because I don't know. I wasn't paying attention to the chat, but you did well. You stumped her with those questions. So very nice. Vanguard, final thought?
There was one part near the end where the Christian one, what was her name? Taylor, yes. Where she said, fine, that just absolutely had me laughing.
I think I know. She was like, fine.
Yep, but that kind of wrapped up the entire debate. It was just, she said fine, and that was kind of the end of the whole thing.
All right. Thank you so much. Isa? Final thoughts?
Sorry, I was unmuting. I felt bad for Taylor. I really did. I feel a lot of like empathy and compassion for her. It's kind of tragic that you have like maybe she had like a come to Jesus moment, just trying to figure it out, and it's kind of traumatizing. Like you've lived a certain kind of life and you're trying to deal with that, and you're trying to advocate for these things, and then you're trying to be honest, and you're trying to do all of these things, and it's hard because you might not follow the exact values that you think that you espouse. I think she was very strong. I think she had some interesting points to consider. They aren't necessarily persuasive points to me, but I think that they could be very persuasive to a conservative person. I understand her valuation points, especially in this time in the United States. Her valuation points they're pretty high value. She would do well on whatever the podcast. As one of the women fighting against feminism, maybe she should.
Yeah, these damn witches.
Yeah, but I would say Jazmen did not do very good in the beginning. However, she comes into her own as a cross-examiner. I think she's probably was very good as a lawyer doing that. She did this really good cross-examination. She threw a lot of hooks in there. She knows how to doll herself up too. That works very well for her. She's able to make herself look very attractive. So
she doesn't have to try too hard to be like perfectly honest.
You put that kind of like mascara eyeliner. Oh boy, she knows
a little bit of a messy
hair.
Her
hair look natural. Yeah, it really, she really knows how to make herself look good. Like she gets a lot of points for that. She's very good at what she does with that type of thing. I'm sure when she went in the courtroom, she probably stuns them down too with how she looks. But she has the right looks for her occupation as well. I can see why she has a huge customer base. I get that. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard, like if she's competing against another woman because she's going to look a lot more attractive. She also has that. She got the Persian vibe, so that the Persian
Yes.
is, you can't beat it. You can't
No,
beat
it's
it.
pretty good.
You can't beat it.
It's pretty good.
Got that Farsi, that Halet Chatore. I mean, you can't beat it. But
Yeah.
I think
It triggers your sense of danger.
oh, she definitely has.
Yeah.
She'd probably be a good actress, but I think, honestly speaking, like if I were have to say who won the debate, I don't know, because I don't really know if there's a winner because we didn't really get feminism, we didn't get any of that. But
No.
I think from the counter punches, Jazmen really she shined. Like I feel that Taylor was super aggressive and it looked strong at first, like it made Taylor look really strong. But then when Jazmen took her words and used them against her, I was like, phew, that was heavy.
She deflated there, and
she took it. She did like some aikido. She took that energy.
Yes.
Bop, 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 bop. I was like, oh shoot! Don't mess with Jazmen. Don't fight Jazmen in an argument because she's gonna blow you out. She's gonna take what you say and throw it back at you. Yeah, I think Taylor. It was a noble approach. It was probably a lot better than a lot of the anti-feminist debates because I think she had.
That is true. Yeah, she's more sensible because, for example, she said, "Oh yeah, women should vote." So
She had
she
compelling
doesn't
points.
take the hard stance, which is
She
good.
had compelling points for an anti-feminist position. She's like, look, I believe in traditional values. It should be more like, it wasn't really feminism that was on debating. It was more like, do you believe in modernist values versus traditionalist values? That's
A little
more
bit,
what the
yeah.
conversation was. I feel Jazmen was saying, I believe in more modernist perspective. And Taylor's like, I take the traditionalist position. It really had nothing to do with feminism. I don't think.
It kind of turned into conservative versus filthy degenerate, degeneracy always wins.
But the funny thing is,
so
Jazmen's monogamous and has just like her partner. That's like all. It's like so.
Yes.
Funny. Like, she's this degenerate. She's a monogamous woman. It's just her partner.
That's one thing I wanted to highlight, and I thank you for reminding me that Jazmen triggers them a lot because she doesn't fit in the box that that they think she should fit in, and I've seen that, and it's always funny when that happens. It happens to you, Isa, happens to her, Malish, for example. They don't fit their boxes, so they trigger people. Remember her debate with Alex Stein? He got destroyed.
My man, Prime Stein, big booty Latina. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I do like that line. That's a great line, big booty Latina.
Yeah, I mean, if you are a Latino, it doesn't make any sense for him. I don't know, but because the Latino women are not like that. Women are not like the way he wants them to be.
No.
I mean, of course, there are women who want to be housewives and so on, but Latino women are pretty strong because, having to survive down here creates that, forces that. So I don't know what he means.
I saw the Latino woman expressions, like when he was doing his protesting, they're like, what the heck is this? They're like, what is going on? This is not a representation of me at all.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, Latin America is
I think it's what you call it's a fetishization of Hispanic women. That's what it is.
Yeah. But it's always funny to think of that poor guy. He didn't have a good time against Jazmen. All right. With that, people, we are going to be on our way because there wasn't much meat on the debate. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you, everyone over there in the chat and in the panel. Before you go, make sure to do the social things, like, share, subscribe, send this to a friend, send this to your significant other, go to the corner, yes, the corner of your seat, and just subscribe to Yerba Mate Talks. And that way we can shut it up for the channel. We'll catch you maybe tomorrow. Who knows? Take care. Have a great night. Bye-bye.